Alpha predator walking across the parking lot.
I think he knows that's how you get into the worm shop.
Yeah, he's incentivized. All right, we're gonna do a morning ride. It got below freezing last night, so everything's covered in frosty dew. Here's our train setup. The goose and its cover. Oh boy. And the flat car and its cover. It's gonna make for a cold ride. We're plugged in, so our batteries should be nice and warm. All right, let's get this thing uncovered. All right, we've got our train set. Conductor's in position. The sun is in position. Ring the bell. We've got the Pacific Journal pad sheet on the side here. Decided to put him on the bell instead of the horn because it's a little more stable. On the horn, he was tipping over sideways, looking inebriated. Here's kind of a scan of the yard. There's somebody's dog carrier. Doggy on the train. That's a steamer. You can tell by the propane car behind it. There are a lot of large narrow gauge steamers in the back shop that we saw yesterday. Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Put a cone on the track so you know which one's the one. We're gonna slowly back out of the yard here onto the main yard lead. And we need to clear the points of our switch right there. So we'll stop, set the handbrake, and kick the switch. There we are, points are lined. All right, conductor.
Eyeball.
Forward. I'll try to do a full crossing thing here with one hand. Uh-oh. Oh no! Our bell is out of service. What happened to our bell? I think our rope came untied. Well, we'll take care of that when we get our sunglasses from the truck. I think we'll go through the fuel yard. So we'll do Containerville, and then we'll come to the fuel yard and just park there so we're off the crossing circuit. Look at all the pine needles. This is all cleaned up at Triennial, but of course fall has fallen. Let's see, we want to go this one, Containerville. You'll see the lights change once the switch is through. There we go. Oh, the bell is completely out of service. I think my knot came loose on the upper thing because there's too much slack, and so there's no dinging action anymore. John Allen was a famous model railroader. Some rail cars there. That's probably part of the train game. You can move those around and you get train bucks, which are not redeemable for anything but bragging rights. It's kind of fun just to explore the railroad. Ooh, that sounded like a rock. Another variable point switch. I'll go real slow and you can watch it throw over. There it goes. Okay, and the straight ahead route. Oh, we're spinning our wheels. We're on some slippery stuff. All that ice on the rail. You can hear that. We're just doing a burnout, so we'll just go after the power real slow, and I'll lean back on the driving wheels. Oh, this is why you always check the points. See how that one's not against the rail? That means we're going on the ground if I try to go over that. So there's probably something in here that's preventing it. I'm gonna take my glove off. I'm cleaning out this area in here. There's still a bunch of debris in here. Pine needles. This is why we like to keep the track clean. There, fixed. Just make sure. So this is a remote controlled switch. When you push that button, it throws. So we just want to make sure that because a lot of people go through that assuming that it's fine, but you can't assume anything because you get a pine needle in there. And you know, if you've got a big narrow gauge locomotive that weighs 1,200 pounds and you go on the ground, it's going to tear stuff up. And we have no tractive effort, so we're going to just take it real slow here. We lost all our momentum. We're going to have to give it a little leg power here to get some momentum. There we go. Coefficient of friction. There's the lights and gates. Still not much traction here. We might have to wait to go down to the meadow until the track warms up a little bit. There we go. Back up to speed now. There's the wine car. This is the back of Containerville. On the other side is a transfer table and a track that allows you to access all the tracks inside of each of those containers. And this back side allows you to get a pickup truck and move other equipment, like whatever you might need in there in addition to your train. Trying to remember which track we need. There's another variable point switch. There's a high converging track coming, and we'd have to be careful with our snowplow on that one. Another variable point. That's a spring switch. That one's nice. So you can see, if these were all rigid switches, we'd have to get out and line every one of them, but that would hold up traffic in a big way on busy days here. Okay, we're aligned in favor. We're gonna head off to the left here. Morning. Over the diamond. Oh, see if we got stopped in time. Just in time. There we go. Let's see where the crossing circuit is. I suspect it's these little things here. Yep. My initial thought was to park here, but I'm going to park on the other side, clear the crossing circuit so that we don't hold up the road. Little rocks in the flangeways there. Bumpty bump. Let's see. I guess we're out of the circuit now because I don't hear the bell anymore. I'm gonna get my sunglasses. Here's our cold conductor and a cold train. Yeah, with this slippery track, I don't think we can even play train game yet because we just barely got around that curve back there. Hear that? We're just slipping and sliding. Newcastle Coal Company. They bring the coal cars up that ramp and dump them into the chute, and then they could reload from there. Gravity feed hopper system. That's all just a scale model. They've never used that here to my knowledge. Uh-oh. Conductor's having a problem. Kerfuffle in the back. Okay, we have a red signal. Now we're in the circuit, so now it's detected us and it's turned yellow because nobody's coming. If there's somebody coming on the other track and they had authority, that would stay red until they cleared. Now we have an opportunity to choose our route. I think we'll do back shop. Huh? That would just take us right back to where we went. We were just on Containerville. I guess we could do that, couldn't we?
If your goal is to get out of the cold.
Yeah. We'll take the long route. You can see we're not getting full traction. If I advance the throttle, we even get less traction. You just go easy on the throttle until you get momentum and lean back on the driver wheel. When we had the lead acid batteries in this, it was probably a little bit easier because we had more weight. Oh. Let's get up a little speed here so we don't make this guy wait. Okay, we got a green signal. Get up to track speed. guess that's a lunar on the diverging route. I'm not quite sure. The main used to be the straight route, and the diverging route is where we're headed here. So I think that is correct, the way I read that. I see somebody on the line here, so I have to make room for them. Do you need a hand?
Oh,
We
yours.
can shove that somewhere for you if you need.
Good.
All right. Got a dark signal here. We will proceed with caution. Since we're at yard limits, we have to be able to stop short of half the range of vision to anything on the track. Okay, that signal's up. The bottom one is not. Bridge to nowhere. Okay, it's telling us what we want to know, so we're good to go here. We're just gonna side run this whole yard by keeping right. So we're gonna throw this switch. That moves the track just past that dwarf signal. It's giving us a favorable signal, so we will proceed. At this point, my fingers are completely numb from about the middle joint, even with these thermal gloves. So we're heading over to the Hall of Flags to get warm and wait for the sun to bring up the temperature a little bit, because this is not comfortable or fun at this point. If I was doing real work, I'd have higher blood flow and probably not be so cold, but I'm not doing real work. I'm just playing on trains. Favorable signal from the big Pensy. Top one is the straight route, bottom one is the diverging route. Next up on my list of gear will be a magnetic base with a 1/4 inch, I think they call it a hard shoe mount. It's basically a 1/4 inch stud that sticks out. And I can thread my gimbal mount for the camera, and I'll have you mounted right here, just above the hood, hands-free operation. That'd be a nice innovation. And then on the steam locomotive, we can stick that magnet to the top or the side of the cab, and I can run with both hands. But that'll have to wait till next spring. This will be the last meet that we're at Train Mountain for this 2025 year, because it gets really cold. Okay, we have a yellow. And we got some people on the track here, so we're going to swing over to the station. They're becoming concerned, but that's okay. We will switch tracks. There we go. They're moving pinecone cars. Morning. I'd offer to help push, but this locomotive doesn't have enough power to move those. Uh-oh.
Man down. You're one off.
Yeah. See ya. Why don't we just park right there? That looks like a fine spot. I don't think they use that spur. Okay. Okay. Try not to run off the end of the track. That's good enough right there. Well, thanks for watching. We got cold, so we went inside for an hour or two to warm up, wait for the sun to heat things up a little bit. After we stayed inside for a couple hours, the sun warmed things up, melted the ice on the tracks. So then we went out to Hope Circle with 3 other trains. That was a 3-hour plus trip, so we'll break that into multiple episodes.